What's up everyone? Math Tutor Pat here, and today we're going to learn how to solve solutions for a homogeneous differential equation with both regular and complex roots. This is not very hard once you get the hang of it. So all you do is you substitute r squared for y double prime, r for y prime, and 1 for y. This is called using the characteristic equation. Then, once you solve for r, if you get r as a number, then the individual solutions y1 and y2 are c1 times e to the r1t and c2 e to the r2t. The general solution is the sum of y1 and y2. If you get complex roots, meaning that r1 is equal to lambda plus I times mu, and r2 is equal to lambda minus I times mu, then the individual solutions are c1 times e to the lambda t times cosine of mu t, and y2 equals c2 times e to the lambda t times sine of mu t. It is important to note that if lambda is greater than 0, then you have growing oscillation, like so. If lambda is equal to 0, then you have steady oscillation, like so. And if lambda is less than 0, then you have decaying oscillation, like so. Now let's solve these examples. Here, we're going to substitute r squared in for y double prime, substitute r for y prime, and 1 for y. What multiplies to 5 and adds up to -6? We're going to have to use the quadratic formula to solve this. We get that r is equal to 3 plus or minus 4i. So those are complex roots. So therefore, y1 is equal to c1 times e lambda is equal to 3t, times cosine of mu t, and mu is equal to 4. And then y2 is equal to the same thing, but with 2 replacing 1, and sine replacing cosine. So these are the individual solutions, and the general solution is the sum of these two. So if we were given an initial conditions, then we would be able to solve for c1 and c2. Let's go on to b. We're going to substitute r squared again for y double prime, 1 for y, and we get that r is equal to plus or minus 2i. So once again, this is a complex root in which lambda is equal to 0 since there's no term. It's just the I term. Therefore, we know that y1, lambda is 0, so e to the power of 0 times t is equal to 1, so we just have a cosine, times cosine of mu t, and mu is the coefficient of I, which is 2. And then y2 is the same thing, but with 2 replacing 1, and with sine replacing cosine. Once again, the general solution is just the sum of both of them. Once again, we don't have an initial condition, but if we did, we would be able to solve for c1 and c2. Now let's go to c. Plug in r squared again for y double prime, plug in r for y prime, and 1 for y. For this problem, we finally get a non-complex root. What multiplies to -4 and adds up to -3? -4 and 1. And now we know that r1 is equal to 4 and r2 is equal to -1. Using these for non-complex roots, we have y1 is equal to c1 times e to the r1t, so e to the 4t, and y2 is equal to c2 times e to the r2 times t, and r2 is -1, so. And then the general solution, once again, is just the sum of these individual solutions. Finally, for d, we repeat the same process. We get a repeated root for the solution, since r1 and r2 are equal to each other. In this case, y1 is the same. It's c1 times e to the r1 times t, but y2, we have to multiply by t. Whenever you have a repeated root like this, you have to multiply the second solution by t. So we have t times c2 times e to the r2, -5t. It's just the same two individual solutions, but one of these individual solutions is multiplied by t, the independent variable. And as talked about earlier, the general solution is the sum of these two. So we have c1 e to the -5t plus t c2 e to the -5t. That's everything for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Have an awesome day.